Hello everybody. Today I can graph a circle by finding the center, by negating what's inside the parentheses, and the radius by taking the square root of the right hand side. Let's go. I want to graph a circle, or in this case find the center and radius, which are the first steps in graphing a circle. To find the center, I negate what's in the parentheses. So with the x I have plus 5, I negate that. Negative 5. With y I have minus 1, I negate that and make it positive 1. To find the center, I negate what's in the parentheses. And now the radius, I take the square root of the right-hand side. The square root of 4 is 2. That's it. I negate what's in the parentheses. I take the square root of the right-hand side. Negative 5 comma 1. Radius is 2. If there's a fraction, that doesn't change anything. And if there are no parentheses, so for x, when I find the center, I know I'm supposed to negate what's in the parentheses. If there are no parentheses, the coordinate is 0. So the x coordinate is 0. The y coordinate, I negate what's in the parentheses, positive 7. The radius, I take the square root of the right-hand side. So it's the square root of 25 over 16. So it's not as complicated as it seems. It's just the square root of 25 over the square root of 16. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 16 is 4. My radius is 5 over 4. My center is 0, 7. My answer is choice 1. Just another straightforward example just to reinforce it. Negate what's in the parentheses for the center. X coordinate is positive 3. Y coordinate is negative 3. Radius, I take the square root of the right-hand side. The square root of 36 is 6. And one more little twist on this. Take a look at number 7. If there are no parentheses, the coordinate is 0. So the x coordinate is 0. The y coordinate, I negate what's in the parentheses, negative 3. And the radius, I take the square root of the right-hand side. The square root of 13, I can't take the square root of 13, so I leave it as radical 13. When I do the radius and I take the square root of the right-hand side, if it's not a perfect square, I leave it as a radical, 0, negative 3, and radical 13. Now we move to where we have actual graphs. Let me just make this a little bit more manageable here. That's almost better. That's good. It wants the graph of a circle whose equation is. Well, I need to find the center and the radius the same way we just did. The x coordinate is positive 5. The y coordinate is negative 1. I'm negating what's inside the parentheses. The radius is the square root of the right-hand side. The radius is 3. So now I'm looking for a circle whose center is 5 comma negative 1. That's not 5 comma negative 1. That's negative 5 positive 1. That's 5 negative 1. That's not 5 negative 1. That's 5 negative 1. And which one has a radius of 3? Well, 1, 2, 3. This one's a radius of 3. This is a radius of 9. Choice 1 is your answer. So once you have your center and radius, you center it at the center, and then you count at the radius in all 4 directions. Let's take a look at another one. I need to find the center and the radius. The center, I negate what's inside the parentheses, positive 2. The y coordinate's negative 4. The radius is the square root of the right-hand side, which is 2. I'm looking for a center of 2 comma negative 4. That's 2 comma negative 4. That's negative 2 positive 4. That's 2 comma negative 4. That's negative 2 positive 4. I need a radius of 2. This is a radius of 4. This one is a radius of 2. This one's your answer. Once you have your center and radius, the center is the center, and you count your radius in all 4 directions from the center. Which brings us to the final piece of this, which is actually graphing. Again, I find the center and the radius. The center is positive 4, negative 1. I negate what's in the parentheses. The radius is the square root of the right-hand side. The radius is 3. So I plot the center, 4 comma negative 1. I count the radius in all four directions. So I'm 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, and I draw my circle. Make sure you make it round. Make sure it doesn't look like a diamond. Connect those 4 points. Let's take a look at one more. I need the center and the radius. My center, I negate what's inside the parentheses. -3, +2. My radius is the square root of the right-hand side. My radius is 4. So I plot my center, -3, +2. My radius is 4, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. I draw my circle. I'm done. To graph a circle, I find the center by negating what's inside the parentheses. The radius is the square root of the right-hand side. If there are no parentheses, then the coordinate is 0. And if the right-hand side is not a perfect square, I leave it as a radical. And if the right-hand side is a fraction, ain't no big deal. Just take the square root of the top of the fraction, that's on top. Take the square root of the bottom of the fraction, that's on bottom. That's it. Practice. See ya.